Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Spicy Sunflower Tarot. This is going to be your March monthly overview reading for the sign of Aquarius, and I'm just welcoming you here. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel, for being here, and for welcoming in the Pisces season. We officially ended Aquarius season. So I hope that you had an extremely happy birthday time and you're ready for this upcoming rest of the year, especially as we are entering spring and then summer. So I cannot believe how fast time goes. This will be a traditional Celtic cross reading for you, Aquarius. So Aquarius can be your sun, your moon, your rising sign. Can also be maybe a placement of yours, like some people read for their Venus placements or their Jupiter placements. So wherever you have Aquarius in your chart, you are welcome to be here. I just want to remind you that this reading may not fit every aspect of your life, and we are looking out into the month of March as a whole. So just remember, it's not predictive. It is just a reading for your intuition and some guidance. If you notice the themes that we talk about here, let me make sure I split these just right. Felt a little bit sticky. Let's get started for you, Aquarius. Just tuning into your highest, purest form of love and light. Let's get started with Celtic Cross. I'm just giving a chance for any jumpers to pop out if they want to do that. Those are usually indicators that they want to be seen, they want to be read. So let's start off with your recent past. I am going to call the cards out as I lay them down, but we will circle back and discuss everything thoroughly. So for Aquarius, the recent past, it is the moon. That's very interesting. That is a Pisces card. The current energy for you is the Five of Coral, which is the Five of Wands. Your challenge, your conflict is the Five of Spears, Five of Swords. Those are two fives right on top of one another. Maybe a little tension going on in your life right now. Let's look at what's on your mind. So we have the Two of Swords. There's a lot of air so far. Well, it's a good blend, water, fire, and air. Your subconscious, let's look at that. Knight of Spears, so Knight of Swords. Let's look at the near future for the sign of Aquarius. King of Spears. Now this is you. This is your energy. Fixed air. King of Spears. This deck is a little different in the way that it calls out the different elements, but I'll make sure I define those for you. This is the Ocean Tarot, by the way, and it is perfect, I thought, for Pisces season, that watery time of year. Let's look at your external energy. I'm flipping these face down. Your internal energy, your hopes and your fears, and the final outcome for Aquarius. At the bottom of the deck, we have Temperance. This is major arcana for the sign of Sagittarius. Temperance is, first of all, it's blessed and looked over by Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael is a remover of obstacles. He clears energy for you. So if you have felt like your path has been a little sticky, like you've been walking around in mud boots, Temperance is going to help with that feeling of a little more clear and a little more moderate and a little bit more balanced. Temperance is all about balance. And so when anything in our life starts to take, it's gonna weigh the scales down in either direction. Temperance helps to keep things nice and even, very moderate. So it's blessed by Archangel Michael, overview of the month of March, helping to clear obstacles, to let you start to flow down your path a little more smoothly. And this is going to be your underlying energy for the month. Let me put that there on top of my selenium stone for you. Got crystals placed around just to keep all the energies nice and free and clear. Let's jump back to the beginning. The recent past. The recent past can be anywhere from, a week ago, a month ago, last year sometime. It's the recent past. It's nameable. We can recognize that this energy might have been a part of something specific. Now, it is major arcana for the sign of Pisces. So it's something big and emotional, and it's almost like the scales were wiped from your eyes, because the moon represents mystery and things that are hiding down in the depths of the ocean. The moon is, like I said, it's very emotional. It's very secretive. It's mysterious. It is not yet ready to be revealed out into the light. Sometimes, even if it is secretive, it doesn't necessarily mean bad. It doesn't mean that there are people holding things back from you. This energy is more so affecting you, and it was your recent past. So something or someone or you were keeping some certain things hush hush. Let's just look at it in this aspect. Say you were getting ready to start your own business, and you're not going to reveal your business plans to the whole world, especially if your business hasn't launched yet. You're going to keep certain things on the down low just because it's not ready for public view or public knowledge. And it's definitely that surprising energy to some people down the road, because they'll say things like, I didn't know you were going to, or I didn't know that you were going to have a baby. I didn't know that you were going to get married. I didn't know. You knew that you were keeping things a little hush hush. You were doing it for whatever your reasons were. The moon is just a sign that in your recent past, there were things that you were not sharing with everybody. So I like to think of it as none ya business. And you don't have to share every part of your life with everybody. So that's your prerogative. Let's jump into the current energy, which is the 5 of coral. In this deck, the coral represents wands. 5 of wands, that's a little yikes. Like I said, you've got 2 5s right on top of each other. So let me explain. 5 of wands, fiery, passionate, it's upsetting, it's very ego battle-y, it's very big, you know what energy, like my stick is bigger than your stick, and there's this ego battle, there's this competition, there is this fighting and squabbling, and it really represents to me a workplace dynamic. Like, people are so competitive with each other, trying to get like the boss's attention, or trying to prove that they're the best employee and they should be employee of the month, and why did you give that to her? She doesn't deserve it. It's very childlike. So I know that there are many adults that behave very childlike. This is that energy, like fighting for no reason, arguing, battling it out, and it's mostly to do with ego. This is your current present energy. So if this doesn't fit you, please let it be for whoever this does work for. This can be you are stuck in this environment. Maybe the place that you work is a very hostile, high energy, passionate environment. Maybe you're stuck in the middle of that. So that could be the current energy for you. What challenges the 5 of wands is 5 of spears, which is the 5 of swords. Now, this is more air energy. This is challenging all of that competitive ego battling, because it's almost like it's you or it's someone else has gotten up and spoken about this bull crap. somebody has walked in the room. I just get the image of like a principal in a school. They walk in and they tell the kids, sit down and be quiet. Enough of this. Everybody, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But the Five of Spears can be a little ugly verbally. It's communication, but it is based on being challenged, having change, there being conflict present. And this is challenging this Five of Wands. So maybe you'll understand what that means for you, but there seems to be a problem with the problem. There's a challenge, maybe everybody coming to an agreement on something, and that's why. But there seems to be like challenge upon challenge for you here in the center of your reading, and this is for the whole month of March. So you might notice that something is identified early on, and as it goes, hopefully it gets better. But on your mind is the Two of Swords. You know, what just instantly came to me was, this is you thinking that if this crap doesn't fix itself or get better, I'm out of here. The Two of Spears, the Two of Swords is the energy of being of two minds, of really having that dynamic thought of, I cannot stand this place and I can't work here another minute. Maybe March is the month that you start looking at other options. Maybe March is the month that you start to realize that your energy is not suited for this place, that it's time for you to move on, or things have to get better. But the way that that present energy looks, it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. It looks like either you're involved in a pile up of energy, or it's around you and you just can't escape it, so you need to leave. But you're of two minds. You know, maybe you are hoping that things will repair themselves, but if they don't, maybe you are going to need to start looking for another way. In the bottom of your energy here, it's the subconscious, and it's the Knight of Spears. So it's the Knight of Swords. Now this is movement towards communication. Now this is down in your subconscious, which I like to think of as, sometimes it's hidden away from our conscious mind, because it's like an alternate personality of ours that if we could, we would jump out and have that conversation. We would explain to everybody how much time they're wasting on stupid stuff. It would be you moving. Knight is a movement energy towards spears, our swords, communication. So it would be you, let's just say like with your superhero costume on, rushing out and explaining to everybody that the way they're behaving is stupid and it's not getting anybody anywhere, and we need to stop this, or you need to stop this, or something communication related in the regards of communication. Like, everybody, we just need to talk. We need to settle this. We need to work it out. You know, I think you're really wanting to be the problem solver. And as you move into the future, that energy does not change. It intensifies, because now there's King of Spears. And that's like the knight jacked up a couple notches. The king doesn't mess around with riding in on his white shiny horse. The king sits in his throne, secure, steady, solid as a rock, emotionless. I'm not saying he doesn't have a heart, but he definitely does not deal with things based on emotions. Like, okay, I understand that's how you feel, but this is a workplace. This is our place of business. This is where we conduct ourselves like adults. This is somebody speaking their mind. I love, there's that pitchfork in the hand, the sword in the hand, truth. This person is in masculine energy, so they're action-oriented towards communication, but it is very strategically said. It's very analytical, intellectual, intelligent. This is the court card for the sign of Aquarius. This is your court card. Masculine energy, fixed air, meaning that when they make up their mind is made up. They've already assessed the scene. They've already identified the problems. They've already secured the solution. And that is how it's going to be because they're fixed. So they're not going to be persuaded or alternate universes being presented. They're going to stand on their laurels. So King of Spears is the near future, which really says to me, and yes, I am getting a work dynamic. I think work is going to be very, I'm going to say tense, at least is the way that it's opening up. A little tense, a little, I mean, especially 5 of Wands and 5 of Swords right in the dead center says there is some dynamics going on at the workplace. But as the month of March progresses, somebody, you or another King of Swords type individual sets their foot down and basically lets people know that the door is always open. If you continue to behave this way, you can see yourself out. King of Spears. So somebody really does set the gavel down and let everyone know what's what. Your external energy, it affects you, but it's not necessarily you, is another king. So this is another person. This can be energy that you adopt as your outside persona, or this can be somebody in your workplace, because I'm really getting that this is workplace oriented. Somebody is fixed in their stability and their security. The King of Treasure represents the sign of Taurus, which is fixed earth. So another, I'm going to call it a hard-headed sign, but it's just the aspect of stubbornness, the aspect of when they make up their mind, very much like that King of Swords, this energy makes up their mind about, I am only going to spend $1,000. This person says, I'm only going to contribute 40 hours a week, and that's it. You're not getting any more out of me. No overtime. I am not going to do X, Y, and Z. This really feels to me like you speaking your mind, or like the owner of the company putting their foot down on an issue or a situation. And this external energy is like a local supervisor. And they're going to say, I'm only going to give you, this amount of time every week. And I want all that back pay that you owe me. They're going to talk about money. They're going to talk about time. They're going to talk about loyalty and all the security and how trustworthy they are. And this person affects you because it's like they run your little department, or they are a supervisor or a department head or something like that in your area. But they're going to just be very level-headed. They're going to be somebody, I think you trust them. It makes it seem like you can put your faith in them. You feel like when they're up to bat, like as the leader, you feel a little more relaxed and secure. Like I said, this could be your energy too, as far as externally oriented. This is how maybe you deal with your coworkers, is very set in your ways, but in a physical reality-based way. This is your internal energy. So how you feel on the inside about everything is that 7 of Coral is 7 of Wands. You feel like your boundaries need to be solid as a rock. You need to make sure that everybody understands that, kind of like this King of Treasures, my hours are 7 to 3. I do not work overtime. You may not call me on the weekends. In fact, I don't want to hear from any of you after hours or on the weekends. And you putting down your boundaries. And this really speaks to, if my boundaries aren't respected, then my decision that I have on my mind here with the 2 of Swords to go either way, stay or go, if my boundaries aren't respected, I'll know exactly what decision to make. So I guess that's on you. If you do not, and I'm speaking as if I'm you, Aquarius, but you're talking to your coworkers and your boss and the owner of the company. If my boundaries aren't respected, if the things that I'm asking for just to keep my peace of mind aren't respected, then yeah, I'll walk. Your hopes and your fears. 10 of treasures. My apologies. 10 of treasures is, it's like winning the lotto, winning a fortune. It's like legacy energy. It's like being handed down a few $1,000s from, like, people in your family who have passed on. 10 of treasures is we made it. We've got all the way to the top and we are successful. We can now start tapping into that nest egg. We have our family, we have our health, we have our wealth, we have plenty of free time, our hobbies. This is in your hopes and your fears. So while you hope to win the lottery, you also fear what would happen to you if you did. This makes me think of that theory, or I think it's actually a proven, so it's maybe not just a theory, but there is I guess it's a proven fact. Now I would have to look into this for you. If you know this story, by all means, please share it in the comments. But when people win the lottery, let's just say it's $10,000. They win $10,000 and everybody thinks, oh my God, how cool. You're rich. You won the lottery. But those people drain through that money and they go right back to being where they were when they won it, because money is a mindset. Money is energy, and it flows through just like energy flows through, like water flows through. So it is here and then it goes. It comes and it goes. And it's very energetically oriented. And so my point is, this is a hope and this is a fear that we will have money. Money doesn't, or time, or anything in your physical reality, it doesn't solve our problems. Our problems are usually mostly in our own heads, but it's a mindset thing. And if you're not somebody that subscribes to that or believes that way, I am not trying to offend anyone with this story, but I'm just making sure it's understood that 10 of treasures is something we hope for, but it's also something that we might fear, because what happens to us if we are successful? We might not know what to do with that. So it's a fear that, we would get all that money and then we would pay off everything and we wouldn't have any left over. So I hope that makes sense. The 10 of treasures, the 10 of pentacles is a hope and a fear. Long story short, your final outcome for the month of March, Aquarius, is the World. Wow, wow, wow. The World is card number 21. This is the end of the Fool's journey in the major arcana. The World is the end of a cycle. The World is the end of a situation. The World is a completion of a journey. It's like graduation day from high school. You go all the way from kindergarten to grade 12, and then you graduate and you're off to your next journey. So this being your final outcome for the month of March really speaks volumes for what we just talked about. This, I believe it's a workplace dynamic. This can fit in a family dynamic, or this can fit in a personal situation, whatever you might be going through in March. I really feel like it's work related, or just wherever a group of people are where there's discombobulation and people not getting along. But the World as the end is a completion of a journey. The start of a new world is ready. So let's just say in the month of April, you'll be off to something brand new and hopefully better. The World is the end, the completion of the journey. Aquarius, this looks like a very interesting situation. I do want to grab my second tarot card deck, the Light Seers, and give you a little clarification on both of those cards. I want to ask, why is the Five of Wands your current energy, and why is the Five of Swords the conflicting energy? It's like fight on fight with that. It's just, it feels unsettling and it feels energetically toxic to me. Let's ask for one more shuffle, and we're going to clarify with 3 cards about Five of Wands and Five of Swords. Why is that there? Interesting that the moon was in the recent past, because maybe things were kept from you as an employee. Maybe there was goings-ons with the bosses behind closed doors and nobody knew what was going on. And then when it finally got revealed, of course, it looks like there was a war. There was oh my gosh, we can't believe that's what our bosses expect of us. Now we have the Hermit, the Emperor, that makes sense, and the King of Wands. So the clarification for Five of Wands and Five of Swords, 2 major arcanas, the Hermit and the Emperor, and then the King of Wands, which, speaking of fixed kings, we have now fixed fire. There is this level, and I'm interpreting this for you, Aquarius, because this is your reading. When you, let's just say the moon was revealed, information finally was distributed amongst the masses of what was going on and going down. You immediately wanted to pull away and detach and think about things. When you finally felt ready to come out of, processing moments, you realized that your boss was your boss and they're going to do what they're going to do, whether or not you like it or not. And so it seems as if you fixed yourself into, this is my career. This is the way I make my money, the way I support my family, the way I provide for my children and whatever. And so I'm going to fix myself to I'm going to be here and I'm going to be a good employee and I'm going to do what I need to do, whatever my boss says, whoever's in control. That may not be the way your coworkers felt. Possibly you weren't okay. I would love to hear in the comments if you would feel comfortable sharing for the month of March, if this reading fits you. But it really feels to me like you, Aquarius, settled yourself into the notion that my boss is my boss and this is my job, and not everybody loves their job. So I'm just going to determine to speak my mind when I need to, lay down my boundaries, but I'm going to settle in to do my job for however much longer I plan on being here. Goodness gracious, that is your reading, Aquarius. Let me grab Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein for you and give you a final message for the month of March. I wish you so much peace and love, Aquarius. This looks like a very interesting dynamic, and I probably wasn't able to put my finger on the exact pulse of it because a collective Aquarius reading, it's impossible. But here's your Oracle card. Owning my power inspires others to do the same. I'm not afraid to shine. Owning my power inspires others to do the same. I'm not afraid to shine. Wow. Beautiful, Aquarius. Please remember that I am on TikTok and on YouTube, and all the full readings are going to be on YouTube. I do personal private readings. If you're interested, the information can be found in the description box below the readings. And your likes and your follows and your subscribes, and if you would share the readings, I would really appreciate that. But your comments are welcome. Please remember, not every reading resonates with every Aquarius. But thank you for your time. Be blessed. Be well. Namaste.